Welcome to Effing Details Podcast.
Vancouver's kick-ass business stories unleashed. Right. Hey, welcome to another episode of the Effing Details Podcast.
You're Mark Simmons.
I am Mark Simmons. At a moment, you are
Jill Simmons.
And so our Effing Details Podcast, we are about the details, when the details matter and when the details don't. But really what we're about is Vancouver's kick-ass business stories unleashed. And we love having guests on the show, specifically from Vancouver and from our lower mainland and actually BC. Mm-hmm. We had one guest from Australia too.
Oh, we did, yeah.
But
in Indiana.
But the real word in all of that is kick-ass. Like business leaders, people who have created, we'll call it epic shit.
Right.
Which our guest today helped me create. We'll get into that in a little bit. And so that's what we're doing. A few things. First of all, some housekeeping. Please, we need to beg. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can follow us on YouTube, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, on Amazon, on iHeart. So many places, no excuses. Or you just go to our website, effingdetails.com, and all the links are there. And you can reach out anytime at
effingdetails.com.
One more thing at the end, read the disclaimers. We have disclaimers. Please read the disclaimers. Here we go. All right, so we are super happy to have with us a special guest who we've known for a long time.
Very long time.
Yeah. Right? And we want to welcome to the big show, Flora Gordon.
Thank you so much. Hi, everybody.
Thank you for being here.
Yes.
Oh, I really appreciate the opportunity.
So, Flora, I've known you for a long time.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I think we're at 10, 11 years now.
I think so.
Right? Through networking.
Didn't we meet at a weird restaurant in Gastown?
It was weird. Early morning, scary street. It's exactly, There's more context to that story.
Yeah.
We met in a dark alley one morning.
Yeah, one morning in Gastown.
And Jill Lillison. But we've all known each other for quite a long time. We've gotten to know each other on many different levels as friends and then also professionally. Yeah. And the journey has been great for all of us to watch what happens. So your company is ImageImage Agency.
That's it, yeah.
I'm saying it correctly.
You did a perfect job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And one thing to let everybody know, I do have a Mesh for Business company. That's my consulting company. And Flora you designed the logo and everything for that. And just a personal interesting story, I used to be Simmons Coaching Inc. It was when we met, that was my company.
Yeah.
Right? And I started these Mesh sessions, which Mesh stands for Make Epic Shit Happen. And I wanted to rebrand, and I reached out to remember all the members in the chapter, what should I call it? And you said to me, why don't you just call it Mesh for Business? That's what you do. And I'm like, yeah.
It's true.
It's true, right? So thank you for that, and had a long history with the Mesh thing.
Absolutely.
But we're not here about me, we're here about you. So Jill, we fire up Jill, and Jill is amazing at questions. She's super curious. So what questions do you want to start with?
Well, first question is, what is your business?
Okay, yeah, so I have a sort of, let's say, corporate graphic design business where I do those annual reports and, print ads and all sorts of things with, logo design and things like that. And then I've kept that. I started a branding agency, which is ImageImage, to focus on sort of solving bigger problems or embracing bigger opportunities. And companies come to me with things, complicated things like someone is retiring. What are they going to do with their branding? Like their name is in the company name.
Right.
They're not Martha Stewart. But Martha, if you're listening. But yeah, so people are coming to me with issues around branding, like people are misunderstanding what they do, or people are not seeing how, why should someone bother paying them more than the market rate? They think they look the same as the competition.
Right.
We've got like all those bottles of water at the grocery store that seem to differ only from the label and the ads. So, people are coming to me with more complex problems and more unique opportunities. So I've been embracing that as well.
Wow. So how did you come up with the name?
Oh, yeah. So I did come up with a lot of different names, and it's funny when you name companies and then you're trying to help yourself.
Right.
So I have a little note out there for everybody who's struggling to name their company. One reason why there are so few company names available, like it's starting to, it can be, if you're trying to name anything, it can start getting really contrived. So there are different techniques that people will do, like, you know, combining two words, doing a portmanteau, repeating words, which is sort of what I did, sort of purposeful misspellings, different things like that to get around having like a super long URL or having a name that, you know, okay, but there's someone in the US doing that and that's kind of bugging me every day or something like that. So I want to say to people, it is a hard, like even people who name companies professionally, it isn't easy. And I know whatever I say about AI right now is going to be dated by the time, you know, people have listened to the episode. But I do also see people going on AI and saying, help me name my company. And whatever AI comes up with, it'll tell you why it's a great idea.
Right.
And there are some great ideas that come out of there.
For sure.
But there's a whole lot more going on. So ImageImage is actually supposed to have something to do with magic, like mage, like the power of an image, my interest in French. It was just melding a bunch of things together.
That's very cool.
Yeah, because there is a little bit of spirituality in my business, not religion, but like I'm interested in using intuition, the power of emotions. Like I'm less someone that's going to meet with you and say, so that I'm going to put you in my click funnel that's worked for my other 6 customers. Like that's not what I'm offering people. I'm offering to speak directly to the consumers through their emotions.
Energy.
Exactly.
It's about energy.
Exactly.
So your brand now, it represents you. Your name is Flora.
Exactly.
ImageImage.
Yeah.
Cool. So
Thank you.
Creative. You are a creative.
Yes. You are too, Mark.
Thank you. Yes,
Yeah.
but again,
And
this
you
is
too,
about
Joe.
you, not
Yeah,
about me.
that's true.
Did you, growing up, see yourself as a creative entrepreneur, or did life kind of push you there?
Let's say it's a combination. I would say I was 5 and I started telling people that I was going to go to Emily Carr, and I didn't even know what that meant.
Oh.
But I was always drawing, painting, writing, pasting something, making a mess, making like a really big mess with like paint on the floor and whatnot, chalk,
That's the sign of a good creative, though.
right? Yeah.
Color outside.
So I took a lot of art classes when I was in high school. We had like jewelry making, drawing and painting, all sorts of. We were like lucky to have a lot of art classes at my high school and really supportive teachers. And I worked on my portfolio. And getting into Emily Carr University at the time, it was Emily Carr Institute. It's subjective because it's like if you wanted to go to UBC, you either had the grades or you didn't have the grades.
Right.
But if you wanted to go to art school, there's often like a portfolio review. And maybe someone from one art school values like extremely realistic drawing. Like people who can just draw and it's practically a photo. But then someone from another art school might value something more creative, like that you did something they haven't seen before or that they haven't seen in that sort of format. So I was really lucky that I got early acceptance to art school, and then I could relax a little bit because I was trying to keep my grades at the UBC scholarship level just in case, and I was exhausted.
That's fair.
Yeah, I was. So anyways, the thing that I felt made me a little bit different than some other creative people, though, was I was also really interested in like business and marketing, and my dad would explain these things to me, and I would like read business books, or, I mean, as soon as podcasts came out, I was right on the podcasts, but Audible, like audiobooks and whatnot, because I wanted what I did to be applicable to the everyday world and help people, as opposed to, I love going to art galleries, but I just couldn't see myself, like I couldn't see that as my kind of output.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I know that the cool thing about a creative like you, and I've done creative work like you have, but I worked in a company where I went through rebranding with them, and I left them in 2012, but I still see around the city kind of legacy of my touch on things all these years later. That must be pretty cool to see. You go by somewhere and go, oh, that's mine, that's my logo, I created that, and you're part of like the community of the city.
Absolutely, and I love feeling like I'm contributing, like that what clients invest in me, they're getting more than that back. When sort of like when you put money into some small renos in your home, like small fix-its,
Right.
and then you're selling, and so you put a certain amount in, but you got even more than that because people came to the open house and they felt like, oh, everything's just ready to move in.
Yeah.
And I can envision my home this way, whereas if they didn't paint and retile the bathroom and things like that, people place a lower value. They're thinking, oh, it's going to be so much work. So I like to think that my clients are investing. I actually don't work with clients if I don't think I can help them move the needle. So I've said no before. I said thank you, but I don't know how to make this business work, or it sounds like your primary issue is staffing or sourcing products or logistics. And yeah.
Has that always been your way? Or were you at a point at some point where I needed to do work with everybody?
I used to be at that point where I was just like in desperation mode, and I would kind of like almost take any project.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, oh my gosh. And kind of like in that kind of fight or flight as like a younger business owner or a business owner earlier in their journey, it's just like, I can't afford to say no kind of feeling.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I know that Mark helped me a lot because you taught me about this list, and it was called the fuck no list.
Right. Hell yes.
Hell
Fuck
no.
no.
Yeah, hell yes and fuck no, right?
Yeah.
And then you were like, you're getting to the point where you're getting busier now, and you can write, you can write down the sort of criteria or industries or types of projects that are fuck no for you.
Yeah.
And you're like, I want you to go away, Flora, and come back with, this list, and then you can refer to it. And that was super helpful.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems to be a common theme that we're seeing for Jill and I when we're talking to business owners.
Yeah.
And it's same with me. And being in the real estate or the coaching there is a time to start. Maybe that's part of the hustle.
Maybe.
In the beginning is it's a numbers game. So you need to take, and then at some point there's a direction your business goes, and even if you want it to go this way and it goes this way, you kind of follow the path of where the business is coming from.
Yes.
And being open to that. But there is a time when that hustle's on, and then you get to a point like where you're at, where you can now pick and choose your clients.
Because it's experience too, right?
Yeah.
And,
sure.
and Flora has a lot of experience now.
Absolutely.
And she knows what she wants as far as the client goes.
So
Thank you. Yeah.
What was the point when? So you talked about like the fuck it list, the fuck no list, and that.
Yeah.
Was that the point when you went, oh yeah, I can now be picky, or what was that moment? Shift for you?
Yeah, I'm not completely sure that I can like isolate the exact moment, but I'll tell you what happened is that we figured this out, like Mark, you taught me that, and then if I didn't listen to it, things wouldn't just go wrong, they would be like go horribly wrong. And I don't necessarily mean in the project. Like you look at the project now, it's like that was fine, I got to the printer on time, it worked, it was fine. But I would like get sick or something. Do you know what I mean? If I didn't listen
Right.
to my intuition, if I didn't listen to my like better judgment, and I knew like this is just not a good idea, everything that could go wrong on my end did, and I would my body really communicates to me through like pain and different things like that. So it would just be a little bit of a nightmare. And I remember getting called about doing an annual report, and I love doing I like the bread and butter of my sort of corporate business reports. Love doing reports. For some reason, I just got a no, like don't do that report. And it was so weird because I really like the client, I really like the people, and then what are you going to do? Are you going to say to them, oh, that voice inside said.
Yes.
Because that's going to sound crazy, and I'm still working out how to tell people
How to frame it.
Yeah, who you can tell. But for some reason, I said no, and then I found out that another company did the report, and they did fine. Like, they did a good job, but some of the info that went into the report was incorrect, and it had to get reprinted maybe like twice, which is a big deal. And I know that I would have, at that time, I've matured since then, but at that time, even though it wasn't the designer's fault at all, like they were given incorrect information, I think I would have been on a big emotional roller coaster. Nowadays, I can handle that, but at that time, I was too sensitive, I was too immature in business, I was just learning, and I would have had like terrible insomnia and anxiety and all of that. But it was super weird because something in me had just said, like, don't do that project. And then when I found out what had happened, I thought, okay, this is kind of like my reward for sort of tuning in. And yeah, sometimes I also feel a little bit like, okay, I'm gonna self-deprecating comments here, but like a miniature and not nearly as successful version of one of those dragons on Dragon's Den, but just because people come to me with their business and, hey, I want to do branding and blah blah blah, and I'm thinking, I'm not entirely, like, I think you need a business plan. Like, I'm not entirely sure this is gonna work. Yeah.
You have this way, you have this quiet confidence about you.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, this confidence really comes out. So
Thank you.
Do you feel that when you started your business here, and then as it grew, the confidence grew?
Exactly. And I was helping a friend prepare for an interview, and when it comes to the whole world of like applying for jobs and job ads, because I've had my own business for a while, I'm not in that world at all. But she had to come up with like like what's one of your like faults, or like one of your areas. It's like your biggest strength and your weakness, right?
Yes.
And we had mulled over that for a while, and I was saying that when you hire someone really new to the business, they can have this energy and optimism to them that can kind of get lost. Now, don't get me wrong, I totally get excited about creative projects, but I know so many of the rules about what gets wrong. Like someone who wants to launch a product right away and thinks, oh, we need it in the shelves of Shoppers Drug Mart by whenever, and I'm thinking, you're not going to get Health Canada approval by that time, right?
Yeah.
But that the person who's just starting is just gung-ho, and they're probably giving the customer a much more pleasant time, whereas I'm thinking like, you need a new plan here.
Yeah.
This can't be done on time. You won't get all sorted out with your barcodes and your point of purchase. Like I haven't ever seen that being done, but maybe, so that's the advantage, that I'll probably be saving people some effort, but it can also come across as negativity.
Yeah.
Do you find that difficult to tell people?
Yeah, it's become easier.
Right.
And I've also said, hey, like, feel free, here's the name of a few other people who do what I do, who I trust. They might have a better approach than me. They might be your right person.
It's like that movie, You Can't Handle the Truth.
It's true, yeah.
They can't handle the truth, but it's just fact. So within that then, there's a couple reasons of, okay, why Flora? Why work with Flora Gordon? And so one thing I know is that we have a printer we know in common, and his comment, he tells everybody all the time, is like, you're the one graphic design person who, when you send stuff in to be printed, he never has to fix.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I do care about making doing my own stunts and making my own production files, or having my production files made properly with my production artist. So thank you. I do care about that accuracy.
Yeah.
And in the technical publishing world, you can't assume anything. Like, I'll see people make changes on diagrams. So it's like, you can't just think,
right.
Yeah, you can't just make that change. So as my business has grown, I now also have like a quality control person, quality assurance person.
Right.
And so, yeah, I really care about that. And I'm not completely convinced that they teach like all the nuances of making print files anymore in a lot of design schools.
Yeah.
In my class, you learn that. But
Yeah. So let's talk about that, because here's nice segue, Flora.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you.
Teacher Flora.
That was my next question.
Well, ask away then.
So you teach.
Yeah, so I'm a course author and facilitator at Simon Fraser University. I've authored some other courses as well, but I teach in continuing studies, and I teach typography, layout, print production, accessibility. So when everyone says, what's accessibility about? So those are the best choices for design, for graphic design and related projects and web design for, to serve people who have a vision barrier or cognitive challenge or language barrier, so they can access essential services like the library or healthcare or voting. But so I teach how to design instruction manuals. I teach how to deal with complex infographics and challenging information, how to interface with subject matter experts as part of a publications team. So I really love it. I feel like it keeps me on the pulse of what's happening.
Right.
The other big piece of it is I wanted to find different ways to have sort of anchors with my business, like so that I had some major ongoing clients so that I'm not always hunting. So I have some guaranteed work.
Right.
So I'm not one of those people that goes in, does a rebrand, never sees the person again, or is trying to convince people. I also needed to figure out some ways to do the recurring business. So the teaching, the reports, those are ways that I have kind of ongoing income.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. That's
Thanks.
a great business model for you.
Thank you.
It's current work, future work, and you're always creating. It's not one and done
Definitely.
for you.
Yeah,
How
thank
has owning your own business and being an entrepreneur, how has that impacted your social life?
It's kind of interesting because I'm so into it, and at that point where, friends of my exact age range was like, I went to my high school reunion or this kind of thing, and it's like got really, really into having families. And then I felt like a little bit isolated because like I didn't know, like I know how to look after kids and whatnot, but I'm not in that world.
Right.
And so I just felt like a little bit isolated. Like I went to my high school reunion and I wanted to network with people, and people were like showing me pictures of all their kids. And everyone was nice. We had a good time. I'm not criticizing, but I just felt like I'm really happy that I made these kind of like friends through business, because then we always have something to talk about. You two are always up to something super creative. I always want to, what your latest project is and what you're working on, and I just felt that kind of like seen and understood that way. Whereas otherwise, I felt like, I feel like, when it's like, okay, sometimes on a Friday night I'm home working, but I don't resent it.
That's amazing.
Right? Yeah.
Right.
I can take a rest during the day. I've had some ups and downs in the health department. Jill came and visited me in the hospital last
I did.
year. Yeah,
Yes.
It was quite a time.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you so much. But it's like, I just felt like I have this greater level of understanding, and people see me as a whole person when they understand, my interest in business, my interest in like helping the next generation of business owners or like recent design school grads. But someone could just say, you're a workaholic with no, heart or something like that, if they didn't get to know me better, if they didn't know that I show up at most places with treats.
With
Yes.
cookies. You will
Yeah.
always bring cookies.
And that is so not true of you.
Oh, thank you.
That's
Thank
for
you.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do like that the flexibility of having my own business, has allowed me to be there for like friends, family, like someone we know in common. Taking her for her chemotherapy appointments and things like that. She's all better, everyone. But things like that, being able to be there for people in off hours people texting me late at night, they're upset I'm up quite often. So I feel like the biggest thing, one of your other episodes, you're talking about finding your people, finding your group, right? And being around more business owners. I just feel like we have this understanding. Someone always wants an opinion on a branding project. Like someone will send me a poster they did and I'll say, that's super cool. Where's the call to action?
Yeah.
I'll go through it and then I get the opportunity to ask, like, I didn't know how to go, what am I doing with incorporating my business? Like being able to just ask a few questions about that for free before taking the leap.
Right.
That's been super powerful.
You're definitely the call it like a branding whisperer, because I've seen you post over the years things. You'll post signage or things you see in a store or something, and you'll make a comment about it, and to like layperson Mark, like, oh, that looks like a cool logo, and then you'll point out something, you go, damn, look at that.
Right, yeah.
How did they not notice this?
I know.
But I see why, because I didn't either, but you have that eye and that gift for finding those things,
right.
And then whatever you're creating for your clients too.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I do like to take that time to, this is about the details, right? Like to get things right, but to address the overall feeling and then get into, so I was at Mink. It's like a coffee and chocolate place that's attached to the Terminal City Club.
Yep.
And I went there, and I don't have a huge weakness for their hot drinking chocolate or something. Like I have to stay away from that place. But anyways, I was in there with a buddy of mine, and I said, "Hey, do you notice something about the menu? It's on the wall. Do you notice something about the menu?" But this is what my dad used to do for me. He would say, "Do you notice, like, what's this ad about? What's this design on a wine label?" That was a common one. Or, what's in this ad? And I said, what do you see about this menu? And he sort of shrugged his shoulders and he's like, "Tell me." And I said, "There's no prices on this menu." Like, you have to be a certain person in a certain station of life to go into somewhere. Like, think about how many people just can't afford to buy a coffee, period. But to go into a place and be buying those things without seeing a price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sort of telltale.
Right.
So that leads to my next question
Oh,
a
yeah.
little bit. Things are subliminal. A lot of times, especially in marketing or whatnot. I know in high school we used to analyze advertisements and see if we could see the subliminal messages in it. Sometimes there would be, interesting words sort of written in there.
It's always sex. It was always sex.
It was always sex.
Forwards or backwards or upside down, or that was the thing, right?
Totally, it was
Completely.
always sex. It was interesting whether it was there on purpose or not. You can kind of see it. So, just curious, how much of your work is it intuitively subliminal, or are you really thinking about that when you create?
Oh yeah, so I think it's a kind of combo. So first, like, say I've come up with the branding for an initiative, and then I'm thinking, what kind of photos are going to go along with this, and that kind of subtle thing. So someone could just say, well, I don't know, just use whatever photos, but everything is often chosen, like, addressing all these tiny subliminal messages, like you talked about. Like, have you ever walked around Shoppers Drug Mart and seen those photos that they have of people?
Yes.
Because when you just look abstractly, it's just photos of people, but all of them look like really happy and healthy.
Yeah.
Like, they don't have gingivitis, I can tell you that. Like, they're not having a bladder infection right now. Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, solid.
Kidney stones, they're fine.
Yeah.
They're doing well. So they're just living the happy life where they didn't, go on a trip without their floss.
Right.
So you can look at that. And then there's been some sort of social commentary when you see, someone, an unhoused person, like, sleeping in front of Choppers with those pictures as the backdrop, and there's someone in their sleeping bag who doesn't have a home, and but But then there's also the sort of happy accidents that can happen.
Oh.
So I've had times where I just didn't know what to do for something, like when I was in my first year of design school, or in our first year of art school, and I was like, we have to make a poster. I'm at Emily Carr, and it's like, I don't know. We didn't have like easy access to stock photos, so I went and found like a book where the copyright had expired with some animal pictures. Then I went to a friend's house, and I was like, help me scan this. This was a lot of steps.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, I don't know what to do with this poster, so I'm going to put like a monkey, because I like monkeys. Like, this was really deep at this point. And it was like, see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. Like, I moved, in Photoshop, I move his little monkey hands. And then at the end, he had a paintbrush. So I hand this in, and I'm like, I'm terrible. Like, other people in the class have been using Photoshop and all the filters and things like that. And I mean, I had Photoshop for a while, but these people were miles ahead of me. And then they come to my poster with my monkeys, and then they said, like, Flora, this is the exact kind of monkey that Emily Carr, the artist, had. Like, that was her pet monkey.
Wow.
And that even, like, the school newspaper was named after the pet monkey. And if you go on 7th and Granville, there's, like, a sculpture of Emily Carr with the monkeys in, like, a baby carriage and her kittens or whatever. Sorry, I don't know the artist. But anyways, the point is that I had, like, accidentally done this, because it was just like, I like monkeys, was the depth of what I had to say. But it just turned out that monkeys were, like, really symbolically connected to the university. I had just missed that memo. So they were like, oh, you did such a good job. And I didn't like win or get the top mark, but it was just like stuff like that kept happening. Or so, and then I'll meet with a client, and I'll show them some custom patterns. I've never been to their house. I've never been on their socials, and they'll say, like, that's the exact color of that's the exact pattern of my bedspread, or, you know. Yeah, so stuff like that kept happening over and over, and hey, I don't hate it.
Yeah. Did you ever have, at any point, like a client disaster, some horribleness with a client that made you go, what the hell am I doing in this industry?
Yeah,
And how did you handle that? How did you get out of it?
I have had times where there's been like a major personality clash. And I always want to follow that campsite rule and say, hey, leave people and situations better than you found them, right? So if there's like a major issue, I had a major issue with someone, I felt that their marketing was racist. And don't get me wrong, because you can point at things people did, you know, decades and decades ago and pick it apart.
Right.
And I think we're best served from, you know, learning from those mistakes and doing better going forward. But I was not comfortable with what was happening with this packaging project. And I had to get up the courage and say, hey, I'm the kind of person, I make decisions pretty quickly, but I do like to consult an expert or two. And I did have an art history professor, a PhD, cultural theory, all of that stuff to ask. She agreed with me that it could be dicey. And so I told the client, I'm not going to charge you. I put everything we've done in Dropbox. I've written like a robust set of instructions so you can carry this on. I'm really going to urge you to adapt this, to make some changes so that we're not showcasing cultures in a way that we're reinforcing negative stereotypes that serve nobody.
Right.
But I realized that, you know, budgets can be tight, timelines can be tight. It's like you've got to speak up if there's a problem.
Yeah.
Right away.
Yeah.
That's good learning.
Absolutely.
Speak up right away.
You talked about your dad earlier, and it sounds like he was really pushing you to notice things growing up. So how much of what your dad taught you, or who did you, I guess the question I'm trying to ask is, in your life, what's the best piece of advice that you ever got from, say, your dad?
I feel like my parents, without saying it, but like my dad definitely like that, learning to be observant like that. Like, just to have that keen eye and to always be searching, like if there's a hidden joke or something, hidden meaning, or just to understand the world around us. And I really like when I see parents doing that, but I actually feel like that my parents really showed us like unconditional love, and they didn't tell us that we had to be in a particular profession or something like that. It was just like, you're going to do a good job at whatever. My parents were proud when I went to art school, whereas other people were saying, you had the grades to go into sciences or any of those.
If you weren't going to art school or doing marketing, what would you be doing?
Oh yeah. I thought about that. I did think about like becoming a lawyer or something, but at the time I didn't realize like I'm an auditory learner. So if I had gone to traditional university and had a full academic course load with a bunch of books to read and not like some way to get them on Audible or things like that, I think I would have just been overwhelmed with that. Yeah. Whereas now I know if I hear it, I'll remember it, and I can down a lot of books. I also like love those true crime shows and have before it was a trend. And I also thought about being the person that's like testing DNA in a lab. Then I found a little bit more like from some things in my personal life. I found a little bit more like what it's like to work in one of those labs. It's actually not fun. Yeah. I also thought about being a counselor, because a lot of people like feel comfortable telling me what's going on, and in no way am I gonna understate the amount of effort and energy and education and credentials that go into that, but I did think I would naturally
have a gift towards that.
Yeah.
Sure, I agree.
Oh, thank you.
Definitely.
What's one word that describes your creative style? Or a group of words?
Wow, my creative style.
Yeah.
I would say my intuitive. Yeah. I got something. It's a adhesive waterproof notepad that goes in the shower, and you can like write your ideas in the shower.
Always creating.
Right?
That's brilliant.
I love it. And it says, don't let your ideas run down the drain.
I need that.
Right? Okay, I'm gonna order you one.
Well, just because my 100%, my best ideas come when I'm showering, and then I'm like trying to get out of the shower to tell Mark. Yeah.
And then the show says, "Oh, I thought of something." What? I don't remember.
Right? Okay, I'm getting you. You need one.
Brilliant.
I need that.
That's pretty brilliant.
Yeah.
You want to play a game?
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay, I'm ready.
All
Okay,
right.
we're gonna rapid fire some questions. Not a lot.
'Kay.
No overthinking. No effing details.
No
Just
details.
answers.
Just some questions. Okay,
we
number
go.
1. Celebrity you'd love to have coffee with.
Michael J. Fox.
Oh.
Cool.
Worst piece of business advice you've ever gotten.
Oh yeah.
Oh, when people tell you to ask a lot of people's opinions, like post that on Facebook in a group and ask people's opinion for it.
Yeah. Don't you love opinions?
Right? I get an opinion on that. Oh, no details, right? No, sorry. Next question.
No, but it's a true thing for people.
You
Like
go ahead.
it's a thing for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like let's do this while someone else can scoop up the URL.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Hidden talent.
point.
Most people don't know about you.
Maybe like choosing gifts.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
Not
a good
wrapping
one.
them though.
If your business were a song, what would it be?
Oh yeah. Was it Secrets? Oh man, who sings that? One Republic.
Oh. Nice.
Okay. What is one detail you always pay attention to?
Checking people's contact information.
That's good. That's when the details matter.
Yeah,
Right?
details
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah.
One word your friends would use to describe you.
Insomniac.
I totally agree.
Right? Yeah.
I've had some emails from you at like 3 a.m.
Your emails
Yeah.
are in the wee hours of the
3
morning.
a.m.
That's
yeah.
true.
Yes.
Your biggest pet peeve in meetings. Last one.
Oh, my biggest pet peeve in meetings. Just, I have a sense of humor, but I've had people go over the top with inappropriate and then we're like, I'm stuck here. This is my work.
Yeah.
Right.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
We've experienced your sense of humor.
Yeah.
You're kind of stealthy. It's like, dude, and then there's a humor bomb.
Oh, I know. And then
Right.
everybody's
Yeah.
like, what? Yeah,
We've
you're
also
funny.
experienced Pictionary with you.
Oh, yeah.
You know, playing Pictionary with graphic people are, it's fun.
This might not be fair.
you can't even draw, I can't even draw a stick figure well. So, but that's fun.
Right.
So where do you see yourself 5 years? Where do you want to be? Where do you see ImageImage in 5 years?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I feel like in 5 years I want to have some more, like the area that I see the potential for growth is working with like more, like larger brands, like more recognized campaigns, because I've worked with a lot of really cool small, medium-sized businesses and institutions, but just like I would like to impact more people on the day-to-day, and also like mentoring people in my field and in business. To be honest, in 5 years I also see maybe working less and maybe helping take care of my parents. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
That's kind of the way things go. Having that opportunity, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
You also do work with not-for-profits too.
Yeah, I really like working for not-for-profits, and I do try to not only work with them, but also set certain things up with them so they can have some projects and initiatives that are sort of self-sustaining in-house. So I feel like there's a lot of potential there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What advice would you give somebody starting off in your industry? What's your best piece of advice?
Yeah, if you're stuck on something, for like say you're naming your business or you're trying to figure out your business finances or any aspect of it, like you taught me about the measurable goals, right? So put a timeline on things. If you get to a certain point and one aspect of your business is just not moving, like you can't figure out the branding or the logistics or the hiring or something like that, we are in such a DIY culture. Just ask Google, just ask GTP, whatever. At a certain point, you're going to need help. No one does everything. And you come out of design school, you're taught to, you're taught to make websites, you're taught to make mobile sites, you're taught to do social media, marketing, writing, all the graphic design, all logos, all the branding. But it's quite possible that you're going to need some assistance. So you either need to find someone that you can hire and that you can trust, or you need to find someone that you can do some kind of structured trade with.
Right.
But if you're at the 5-month mark and you can't choose a URL, opportunity cost. Like you're losing opportunities because you're stuck, and you got to pay attention to those patterns and say, hey, for instance, I've learned that if I'm naming a business and doing the visual branding and writing the brand guide and sourcing the illustrations and building all the files, that I can't do all of those things without missing something. So I need to divide and conquer. But I see so many people spend their evenings and weekends. They think they need to learn certain software. They think they need this and that. And they're just perpetuating this DIY culture, which is fine. But at the end of it, they're hoping that their customers will not be DIYing.
Right, yeah. Yeah. And part of what you do is you get to clean up, I'm sure, in your business, a lot of DIY.
Exactly. So, and I'm not opposed to it, because, like, for instance, I admire people who can say, sew their wife's wedding dress, make jewelry, build a website, and all of that stuff. But you actually get things done. There's many people that just spend years, evenings in their evenings and weekends, and don't actually ever press play.
Because they're stuck in the details.
Yeah, they're stuck. Exactly.
Awesome. Whoa, what a great way to bring this thing
Right?
to a thing. Yeah, to a close. So, Flora, we want to thank you for being with us today. Lots of great information, lots of inspiring things. You're a rock star in business. You are one of the kick-ass business owners in Vancouver, and your legacy does go through all your students too.
That's
you drive around the city,
incredible.
and there's Flora signs, and
Yeah.
whether we know it or not,
Yep.
you do leave your mark around. how do people get a hold of you? What's your email address?
Yeah, so people can find me under Flora Gordon on LinkedIn, on Instagram, ImageImage Agency, so the word image repeated twice, ImageImage.agency, and then there's a contact form in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have all your information in the descriptions. We'll have it on YouTube. We'll have it flow along the bottom. Your email address and contact information.
Perfect,
so
thanks.
For everybody watching or listening, once again, please subscribe.
Please.
YouTube, follow us on Spotify, or I keep getting Apple Podcasts, iHeart, Amazon, no excuses, or go to our effingdetails.com website. We also have our swag on the website. We have the Fuck the Details caps,
Sweet.
we have the mugs, we have the stickers, and we have a care package for you, Flora, which we'll give you.
Thank you so
all the
much.
Fuck the Details things.
Thank you so much. I came up with something.
Okay.
Be kind, please subscribe.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I probably didn't invent that, but
From the old Blockbuster
I took it from
days, right?
Blockbuster.
Yes. Yeah. That makes sense. That's good.
yeah.
So let's leave it at that. Be kind, please subscribe, and please reach out to Flora for any of your design questions, needs, anything.
Yeah.
She's a rock star in what she does, and she's proven herself today. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.